Welcome, beautiful people, to another episode of AI Learning for Humans. I am your host, Villatte. Today, we're venturing into the real world of AI tools, sharing a deep dive into my firsthand experience with Descript, an AI tool that at first glance looks phenomenal. I mean, for real, phenomenal, right? Their commercial that they have flooding the internet is amazing. It made me want this program. So stay tuned as we unravel the good, the bad, and everything in between. Don't forget to stay tuned for our next episode where we'll be diving into SEO and AI. Now, before we dive in, small request for all of you. If you find value in our show, please subscribe, like, and leave a review. Also, don't forget to sign up for the newsletter for the latest updates. Now, as far as my first experience with Descript, picture this. I'm geared up. I'm ready to go. I got a 20, 30-minute podcast as usual that I'm getting ready to record, right? Spending 3 hours recording what was supposed to be this 25 to 30-minute episode. Quite the journey. The green screen, the eye contact, the teleprompter functionalities that I was dying for seemed to be missing. Not all smooth sailing, but that journey led to some revelations and insights that I'm eager to share with you today. So again, today we're diving deep into the wonders and wobbles of Descript. Now, let's break down what worked, what didn't, and some real world insights that I gained from my firsthand experience. First thing, looking into this program here, right? You got all the pros of, things that it can do for you. And I feel like they all hinge, based on my experience at this point, they all hinge on setting up a voice, okay? First thing that I suggest, if I'm writing the tutorial, right? If I'm writing the guide, if I'm writing the manual for this thing, they spoke of this, but they didn't speak of this first. So I didn't do this first, right? And I actually got bored and kind of just stopped watching the video. So I think part of the issues with this program lie there. So it's very easy for someone to be able to say, hey, it's actually a user issue, right? But if you give me a video that I have to watch first and foremost, and that video doesn't immediately engage me, doesn't immediately tell me what I need to do, and doesn't make it where I see the whiffum factor, what's in it for me, I'm going to shut it off, and so are you. I know, that's why we're here, right? That's why we go to YouTube to learn things, because we know that there are people that are going to say, all right, kill the fluff. This is what we need, okay? So first thing, set up that voice, okay? You can use a pre-existing recording. So if you have a pre-existing recording, 10 minutes to 30 minutes long, great. Drag and drop that sucker in there. The AI is gonna learn your voice. Now you can replace any errors. So if I say 30 million times, well, there's a button to just get rid of the ums and the ahs and all of that, and that's cool. That works without the voice. But what if I go out of turn? What if I don't know. I mean, if you've never recorded anything, it's hard to explain. And if you have recorded stuff, then you already know what I'm talking about and I don't need to explain it, right? You can take any error. Let's say you went out of order or you repeated something, right? Or you said something that was just completely wrong and you just want to change it, right? And it's maybe just like a one-word change. But if you change that one word and go in and try to re-record that one word, or if you edit and delete that one word, you sound very robotic. Instead, we're going to use the robot to make you sound human. You're just going to delete the text because it transcribes everything, and you delete the text and then you type in the new text. And with that new text, it puts in your voice. Now, let's go back a step. I said, if you have a pre-recorded, 10-minute to 30-minute with your voice, you can drag and drop that in. Now, if you don't have any pre-recordings, they have a template for you. You just go in and you do that from the drive and overdub in drive view, okay? And this is also going to eliminate you having multiple recordings. I used 10 gigabytes of space because this thing kept crashing on me. Just to put it out there. Okay. So by having the voice, I could have eliminated using that 10 gigabytes of space. I could have eliminated that maintenance time. Now I have to go in and find these files, delete them, hope that I delete the right ones and that it doesn't cause any issues on the back end. That's a nightmare. Instead, if I recorded the voice first, I would have typed, I would have fixed my 30 seconds that I needed corrected because the voice wasn't there in one, and a lot of issues. I don't want to go into all the issues, right? I mean, I do, but I don't want to take 20 years going into the issues. I'd rather tell you what you need to do. So again, most valuable thing I can tell you, create that voice first. If you have a pre-recording, drag and drop. If you don't have a pre-recording, use a template, sit in front of your mic, and just talk it out, okay? Just talk it out. 10 minutes to 30 minutes. 10 minutes, bare minimum. 30 minutes, optimal, okay? Moving forward here. Now, as far as the next thing, you want to have a script or an outline, right? Have a script or an outline. So you can go in and you can just talk from the cuff, and that's fine. You know, I'm used to kind of like just freestyling certain things. But when it comes to something that you're trying to, that you're hitching your business on, to put it that way, right? Like, not just that you're hitching your business on, but you're also trying to separate yourself from the pack. If you're actually doing this for real and you're trying to own a certain market space, you're gonna need to be super valuable. And one of the best ways for you to be super valuable is to not shoot from the cuff, to have some preparation, right? To actually, even if you know what you're talking about, you can sound like you don't know what you're talking about, and nobody wants to hear that, right? So have a script or an outline. Pros and cons. With a script, it's gonna save you time, right? You're gonna do the work on the front end, but on the back end, it's gonna save you time. The con on the back end, you might feel like you don't have any freedom, less spontaneity, right? But it can help you maintain and keep everything in a structure. If you're like me, organized confusion, the script helps you to sound nice and polished, okay? And to provide that valuable information in a succinct format so that other people can take it in. You're helping people to learn and soak in that information by setting it up correctly. As far as an outline, pros and cons, both of those boil down to freedom with an outline, right? So an outline is going to give you the freedom, right? The freedom to feel like you when you're speaking. But on the back end, you may spiral out of control, right? And if that's the case, then what are you going to wind up doing? Going back and setting up a script, right? So you save the time on the front end, and if it's you and it works that way, and you're just like, okay, I have these bullet points, boom, boom, boom. Now I can talk freely about them, and you're not long-winded. That may work for you. Me, I'm long-winded. I need the script. You choose what's going to work for you and what's going to make you the most valuable to your followers, listeners, subscribers, whatever the case may be, right? Number 3, integrating other AI tools. I love ChatGPT for scripting, right? But when I'm using it, what I'm really wanting to say here is, don't just use an AI and like let it type something for you and then just go and present it and not even be present, because again, you're tying your business to this, right? I won't go too far into that. It's just a thing of staying present and providing some value, okay? Next thing, space management. We already went over, I'll say it briefly. Bottom line, like, you're gonna save tons of time if you can, do the recordings outside of Descript, okay? Save the hard drive space, all right? Outside of that, yeah. So number 4, space management, efficiency with Descript. So think of it this way. Descript is a great tool, but it's bound to your PC's capabilities. So the better your PC is running, the smoother it is running, the more efficient it's running, the better your output and your workflow is going to be with Descript. So learning to manage recording lengths, learning to manage where you're recording. Like I'm recording on my cell phone. Why? Because the recording's done. My phone is more efficient for the recording than my computer, and more efficient for the recording than Descript. I learned that on my first attempt. Now I'm recording outside of it, and then I'll take this file and I'll drop it into Descript and let Descript do what it's good at, right? Maximizing efficiency, bottom line, okay? Outside of that, applications that you can use this for, okay? Different things that you can apply this to. Faceless videos is probably one of the best ways that you can apply this to. And if you take my step of saying to be present, make sure this is valuable, take the time to edit, right? If you take that and you apply it to faceless videos, because there are a bunch of people putting faceless videos out there that, like, they're faceless, they're also mindless, right? like, I'm not saying mindless, but like humanless, right? If you go ahead and you have a specific message and you stay succinct with that specific message and you're providing these faceless videos, like, yeah, it can save you a lot of time. It can increase your, God, I just had the word in my head and I'm drawing a blank now. It can increase your productivity, your production value, okay? It can increase your production value. If you're, brand new on a budget, whatever the case may be, right? You're just gaining traction. Maybe you can do some faceless videos and have really good production value because you're grabbing videos that work really well with what it is you're saying. People in the motivational space, for example, like, I don't need to see you. Sometimes I'm listening to a motivational video and all I'm seeing is somebody working out. They're running, you know what I mean? You see them down on the knee like this, and they're getting prepared to poof, and they go and they run and they take off, right? Like, that's motivating. It matches, you know what I'm saying? You see somebody, they're talking about somebody who's depressed, and you see, the visual of somebody who's just down and out, right? Like, it works. It works, you know what I mean? And me seeing you talk is not necessarily gonna give me that same vibe. So there are places where it makes sense, is what I'm saying, right? There are places where it makes sense, and your strategy can only be your strategy based on your goals, your vision, and your values, right? But faceless videos is one. Blogs is another. Very easy, and vlogs as well, and podcasts, right? It's very easy. Now that you have a cloned voice, you can literally just create a script and take that script, and now you go from script to voice, and now you have voice, but you don't have video. So now you go from voice to video, right? You can find AI tools nowadays that will do all of that stuff, right? And while it's still fairly new, there are tons of things out there. I know Pictory AI is one that comes to mind. If you're not familiar, I'll leave a link so that you can find it. By the way, I will be fully transparent. With Pictory AI, I am an affiliate. So it does actually help support the channel if you use the link. And if we're providing you value today, I would hope that that would make sense, right? Outside of that, again, if we're providing you value, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of our content for the future. And also hit that like button, leave a comment or review, all right? Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with the quote of the day, all right? Quote of the day. Adding value to others is the surest way to add to our own lives. John C. Maxwell, The Mindset Journey. If you haven't read the book already, I suggest picking it up. I thought that was a great quote based on the fact that I knew that I was going to, at least 3 times in this video, touch on the fact of making sure that, we're talking AI here. We're talking things that help us to get things done faster, easier, less effort, right? But what that is, people, is a system. Systems are meant to save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. SYSTEM, right? And we're implementing AI in that system. But we're not going to drop the value, right? We're not going to drop the value. This tribe doesn't drop the value. This tribe uses AI for the right reasons. That's my values, right? So in any event, all right, beautiful people. So we're nearing the end of this segment. I'm thrilled to have spent the time with you sharing my experiences and insights on Descript and on AI learning with humans, AI learning for humans, okay? So as we come to a close, here's how we can keep the good vibes rolling and stay connected, all right? Subscribe, like, review, subscribe to the newsletter, subscribe. You don't want to miss out on what we got coming on in the future. Hit that subscribe button. Like, if we provided you with any value and it resonated with you, please hit the like button. It does help us to reach more beautiful souls like you. Review, your feedback is a true treasure. Point blank, period. It lets us know if we're hitting the mark, if we need to adjust some things, and the whole purpose here is to provide you with the most value, right? So at the end of the day, please let us know what we need to hear, right? Unapologetically and honestly, right? Unapologetic and honest reviews, please. That's all we ask. And, the newsletter goes without saying. If you want to join the newsletter, you want to hear new things going on, you want to be able to be aware of events that are coming up in the future and et cetera, by all means, and any freebies that we have on the website and the blog site, we throw those out in the newsletter, okay? As always, I want to say one thing to you. Now, don't forget, if you woke up this morning, you're blessed. I'm your host, Andre Villatte. Let's each one teach one and make each other better. Peace.